Welcome to our accelerated walkthrough IT Part 3. In this particular area, again, a bit like IT Part 2, we're sort of dealing with more examinable areas. Now, first area for us, we talked about unincorporated traders in IT Part 2. We said probably less significant. Now, it could be that because of the fact that the basis of assessment rules have been reformed, maybe the examiner will focus in more heavily on more challenging areas because those basic assessment rules are going to be so straightforward, e.g. cap allowances or maybe losses. Now, what do we mean by cap allowances? We should have a fix on this from our tort course studies. We're simply talking about the HMRC's term for depreciation. We know that accounting depreciation is disallowable, but we have to provide businesses, traders with some sort of allowance for investments in capital expenditure, investments in equipment, etc., etc. So this is what we mean by cap allowances. Now, in terms of the detail, several allowances. Some, note, easier to deal with than others. So, as an example, the first year allowance, number 2 there, is much easier to deal with, I think, than the annual investment allowance for several reasons, some of which you'll be aware. So, 3 main allowances in the comp, and I think the difficulty for students in this area of cap allowances historically is what we see next. In other words, the pro forma. Because I think when students look at this pro forma, and I've just taken from the study hub pro forma number 1, which is the simplified pro forma, there's so much information, isn't there? You know, broadly speaking, we have a sort of a two-dimensional page, but there's so many dimensions to this fully fledged big cap allowances computation. So some advice here. I mean, in terms of the setup first, I mean, we know that we've got 3 main allowances that come into play, as we saw up top. You know, the writing down allowance, the AIA, and the first year allowance. For me, just looking at it on a simplified basis, let's note that we have a main pool, we have our allowances claimed right at the end, we have a special rate pool, and possibly some other pools as well. If you look at the more detailed pro forma 2, for example, private use assets. For me, if you're dealing with a meaty, a large cap allowances computation, do the easy bits first. In other words, set up your columns. Deal with, for example, a first year allowance because we know it's 100% on specific items, low emissions, etc., etc. Then deal with the AIA. Now, the AIA is a little bit complex. We know that we have limits. We know that it's affected by short periods, etc. But the key point is we can score marks by getting the basics right, the key limit, etc. Outside of that, in terms of other simple areas of a fully fledged cap allowances column, you know, private use assets will have their own column. They're quite easy to deal with. So let's remember, in a long form question, in a meaty question, dealing with the simpler areas first is what we need to do. The more complex areas for me certainly is the link between the special rate pool and the AIA. Okay, so watch for that in the questions. Remember, at the end of the day, if it's long form, and it could be this time round because of the changes made, we're going to get marks for getting the right number in the right place. We don't need to get the full computation perfect. Okay, so don't try to. Okay, now moving from here, in terms of the loss relief area, cap allowances for me and loss reliefs are the 2 main areas that I think he could examine given the changes. Now, what do we mean by loss reliefs for traders? What are the options? Well, several options. First one, an offset against total income. So we're talking about the same year or the previous year in any order. Remember, we're talking about a trading loss. Outside of that, number 2, carry forward against future profits, note, from the same business. Last area, set off against chargeable gains. Now, in terms of the pro forma, let me just put this into view for you. With those various options, you'll see we deal with the pro forma IT comp here. If we're talking about an offset against future income, here's where we would bring in the deduction, okay? If we're talking about a total income offset, then obviously we have to get down to total income first, and here we are. Outside of that, let's remember that formatting is important within a loss relief question, okay? So this is the format that we need to use. Moving to a slightly more complicated area out of the first two, i.e. current year or previous year offset, or carry forward against future profits of the same trade, the capital gains area is an area that could also come into play. And note where the trading loss relief happens. We take chargeable gains from the first, for the current year first, and then capital losses for the current tax year, then the trading loss relief. Let's not forget the annual exempt amount, and then after that, the unrelieved capital losses brought forward. In this order, what students tend to do is they get confused. Let's think about it. This is our current tax year, gains less losses. This is our trading loss relief. We know our AE can be deducted, and then let's bring in losses from a previous year brought forward. Okay, let's work the questions. We'll get better at this. Now, in terms of our objectives overall with losses, what are our objectives? We're talking about planning here. Well, ideally, we obtain relief at the highest rate or the highest marginal rate. Ideally, we claim relief at the earliest point, last year as opposed to next year. Ideally, we minimize any unrelieved losses. And indeed, ideally, we minimize any wasting of the personal allowance. Now, can you do all of these in one question? Highly unlikely. So if we get any form of question, whether it's short form, but more likely long form, where it sort of suggests that we need some narrative in relation to good options, these are the rules that should be in play, but you'll be unable to do all of them. If you relieve at the highest marginal rate, you might waste a personal allowance. If you obtain relief as early as possible, you might not be relieving at the highest marginal rate. So watch for these. These are our objectives within the area of loss reliefs for individuals. Okay? So that concludes part 3. What have we covered? Well, a very, very quick run through the capital allowance area and indeed the 3 main allowances. What did I say? Do the easy parts first if we're talking long form. If it's short form, it should be a little bit more simplified, okay? Outside of that, in terms of the computation, there are so many moving parts to a capital allowances computation, and I think if it is examined, and it will be, it may well be a longer form question. So look for those long form questions in your revision area. Outside of that, in terms of losses, well, 3 main areas, either total income this current year or previous year, carry forward against future profits of the same trade, or a chargeable gains offset. Memorize the pro forma that I walked you through, and indeed where the losses are deducted. I hope that made sense. I know that it was quick and accelerated. Let's work the questions and get better. I hope that your studies are going well. Many thanks.